Gee, Bill, the first I knew it was around noon today, and my first reaction was how uh, supposedly intelligent men can go about a situation like this. My first course would be to get a franchise in the league without getting hooked up first. I just don't understand this procedure. And nothing has crossed the desk of the secretary or the league president in regards to Roanoke having a franchise in the Eastern Hockey League. And yet we have a 50-mile protection clause in our franchise agreement with the Eastern Hockey League.
Have you talked to other league members concerning this matter?
Yes, I've talked to some, not only since the announcement came today, but in the past. And the ones I've talked to said, well, we're going to go with you. There's no question about that. We're more interested in protecting the franchises that are now in the league rather than go out getting new ones.
You have a league meeting coming up next week in New York.
Yes.
What will transpire there?
This wasn't even on the agenda. Our league secretary said he knew nothing about it. The league meeting is called to settle some differences between some clubs that didn't show for games because of inclement weather and for other reasons, and number two, to try to set some playoff dates and start thinking about the playoffs that are just around the corner. And
you will bring this up?
I'm definitely going to bring it up. I brought it up in the past because we want to protect our franchise rights, and we will. We're going to protect our franchise rights.
There has been some talk about the Rebels moving lock, stock, and barrel to the new Civic Center in Roanoke. Is this true?
We hear some things, but of course management and the owners of the club have never been contacted. I did talk to the manager of the Civic Center in Roanoke on a couple of occasions about playing some games down there, and quite a few games, because I think it would be good for both buildings. It would release dates in our building and give him some hockey down there. So far I haven't had an answer or a comment one way or the other as to whether this would be feasible. I think Mr. Radford would like to do it, but we haven't heard anything yet.
I think the big question is, can the area support two hockey teams?
I can answer that and won't hesitate at all. No, it cannot support two hockey teams, and you can ask any league member from Charlotte, Greensboro on down. It will not support two hockey teams. Now, the question of rivalry between the two, sure, there's rivalry in all phases of the two governing bodies and between the two localities, but to support two hockey teams, no, it cannot. We draw from the same people.